She wasn't the first. The terrifying truth behind the 911 call, part 1 of the gallery files. It began with a whisper. A 911 call, placed at exactly 11:23 p.m. on a calm Tuesday night in Clear Point, Oregon. The voice on the other end was female. Frantic, breathless, trembling with fear. Static crackled over her words. A call that would set off a chain of events no one could have predicted. 911. What's your emergency? He's in the house. I think he's watching me. I locked the door, but he's still here. Please, hurry. The line went dead. No name, no address, no location services available. Dispatchers acted fast. Using cellular triangulation, the signal was traced to a small radius on Riverdale Street, a quiet cul-de-sac with just 7 homes. Officers were dispatched immediately. At 11:37 p.m., Officers Brianna Hayes and Mark Rowland arrived at 1428 Riverdale Street. Porch light off. No visible movement. The front door, unlocked. Inside, the air was thick, metallic, damp. The home was sparsely furnished, barely lived in. A tipped-over wine glass on the floor. A smartphone recording silently on the table. A woman, early 30s, lying face down near the fireplace. No ID, no wallet, no phone nearby. Her eyes wide open, her mouth slightly ajar. No wounds, no blood, dead. The room told no story, no struggle, no signs of violence. Yet something was deeply wrong. Police body cam footage revealed faint footprints on the hardwood. Muddy, irregular, leading to the back door and disappearing. The lease on the property was signed only 4 weeks prior by someone named Claire Maddox. Claire Maddox didn't exist. No government records, no digital footprint, no trace. Neighbor Mrs. Daly. She never made eye contact, never smiled. But one night, I saw her talking to someone, a man in a hoodie, just standing in the dark near her gate. She looked afraid. A duct-taped cardboard box found in the back closet. Dozens of Polaroid photographs inside. Each photo showed a different woman, each one looking directly into the lens. Each expression identical, pure terror. One photo was the woman found in the house, alive, holding a newspaper, dated 5 days earlier. Coroner's report, cardiac arrest. No drugs, no trauma. Cause of death, psychogenic shock. Sudden death from intense fear. Forensic fear reaction, the medical examiner noted. Almost unheard of. The victim's laptop and phone had both been factory reset, but a single corrupted audio file was recovered. I found the names, the photos. I know what he's doing. I'm not the first. I won't be the last. He watches. At night, he doesn't speak, just watches. Fingerprint analysis on the box. Partials. No match. Facial recognition on the Polaroids. 3 missing persons from different states. All vanished in the last 9 months. FBI behavioral analyst Dr. Lenora Gage. This is no ordinary predator. This is someone who understands fear, who collects it. 2 weeks later, a man called the Clearpoint Police Department claimed he was the victim's brother. Said her real name was Riley Thorne. Riley Thorne, 28 years old. Former investigative journalist. Fired from a private publication for investigating unauthorized content. DNA confirmed the match. Claire Maddox was a cover. Her brother? She said she was being watched. She said she had found something she wasn't supposed to. Something big. She said if anything happened to her, don't believe the official story. Detective Bell found Riley's last known assignment. Disappearances across 3 states. Unconnected on paper. But Riley believed they were linked. She believed someone was collecting women. Not killing them outright, but terrifying them into silence. Then the twist. The Polaroids were gone. The box missing. The voice memo deleted. Evidence logs showed no record of them. Surveillance footage of the evidence room, corrupted. Sergeant Daniel Crowley, lead officer on the case, resigned. No statement. No forwarding address. 3 days later, Detective Bell received an anonymous email. No subject. No message. One attachment. A photo. A woman. Not Riley. Someone new. Staring into the lens. Expression locked in fear. Timestamp. 1 hour before the email was sent. Location data. Stripped. 22 days after Riley's death. Another 911 call came in. From Boise, Idaho. He's here. I see the light. He's taking pictures. I can't move. I'm not crazy. Please help me. The line went dead. Police arrived. The apartment was empty. No man. No struggle. One Polaroid. Left on the pillow. A woman's face. Pale. Terrified. Unblinking. No blood. No wounds. The same haunting gaze. One person. A network. The ability to erase identities, delete evidence, and vanish? Who was Riley really investigating? Why did she disappear off the grid? What was in the package delivered to her door 3 nights before her death? That package was never recovered. Its contents unknown. She saw something, and it saw her back. The case remains officially cold. But sightings of the man in the hoodie continue. From Oregon to Idaho, California to Montana. Always the same story. Always the same photo. He's never been identified. No one's survived to speak. A woman in Spokane just reported receiving an unmarked envelope. Inside, a photo of herself, asleep, taken from the foot of her bed. She swears she lives alone. The envelope was plain. No return address. No postage. Hand-delivered in the dead of night. Inside, one Polaroid. A woman sleeping, the photo clearly taken from within her bedroom. Her own face, serene and unaware. Shot from the foot of her bed. She swears she lives alone. The woman, 29-year-old Ellie Carson, immediately called police. Officers arrived, searched the premises. No signs of forced entry. No surveillance footage. The locks were intact. Nothing was taken. But something was left behind. On the nightstand, another envelope. Smaller. Sealed with red wax. Inside, a single slip of paper. 5 words, "You were next." She wasn't. Detectives linked the handwriting to an old case file. The victim? Leah Forrester. Missing since 2023. Never found. Ellie's name hadn't appeared in any official registry connected to prior victims. But further digging revealed a disturbing link. Ellie had been a roommate of Riley Thorne in college. They'd lost touch years ago. Never reconnected. Until now. A second letter arrived at the Spokane police station. No fingerprints. Inside, coordinates. A rural area just north of Pendleton, Oregon. A dense stretch of forest known locally as Deadman's Hollow. Local legend says people go missing there every few years. No evidence. No remains. Just gone. The FBI deployed a search team. Nothing at first. Then one agent found a makeshift clearing surrounded by trees. Centered in the middle, a wooden chair, facing east, a Polaroid camera on the seat. Beneath it, a photo album. Inside, pages of Polaroids, each page dated. Each woman photographed in the same terrified stare. Some images showed duct tape, others blindfolds. On the final page, a photograph of Riley Thorne. Below it, the words, "She asked the wrong questions." Digital forensics extracted metadata from the Polaroids. One consistent marker stood out. A specific brand of thermal photo paper. Only one factory on the West Coast produced that type. An abandoned warehouse in San Mateo, California. Detectives secured a warrant. The building had been out of use for over 5 years. No utilities. No staff. Yet inside, light fixtures had been recently replaced. A darkroom had been reassembled. On the floor, plastic sheeting. One chair. One set of restraints. A drain in the center. And another box. Inside it, more photos. And a ledger. The ledger contained names, dates, cities. And next to each name, a red checkmark. Except one name. Ellie Carson. No checkmark. Agents reached out to Ellie for protective custody. But she was gone. Her apartment abandoned. Cell phone powered off. Car left behind. The only thing found in her bathroom, a shattered mirror. and the words he sees through the glass scrawled on the tile. An analyst compared the ledger entries to missing persons reports across multiple states. At least 11 confirmed matches. Women aged 25 to 35. All vanished under strange circumstances. Each one had one thing in common: prior work in journalism, investigations, or advocacy. Each one had, at some point, attempted to expose corruption, exploitation, or power abuses. The question shifted. Was this about fear or silence? Then another twist. A call came into the FBI's Portland field office. A male voice. Calm. Cold. She went looking. She found answers. She got in too deep. They always do. The call ended. Seconds later, the field office's database was remotely accessed. 3 files deleted, all relating to Riley Thorne. A security analyst tracked the breach to an IP in Anchorage, Alaska. When local law enforcement arrived at the address, it was a vacant lot. Later that evening, an agent monitoring known forums discovered a post on a hidden board. A grainy photo of Ellie Carson, hands bound, blindfolded, kneeling in front of the same chair from the woods. Caption: "Do you see it yet?" Below the post, GPS coordinates leading to Nevada's Black Rock Desert. FBI launched a rapid response. A drone sweep located a shallow grave 12 miles from the GPS site. Inside, female remains. Dental records confirmed it was not Ellie Carson. But it was another name on the ledger. Every trace of Ellie vanished. But one new entry appeared in the ledger, updated manually. Ellie Carson crossed out, then replaced with reclaimed. The meaning remains unknown. At the same time, Riley Thorne's brother received a package. No return label. No sender. Inside, a USB drive. One video file. It opens in static. Then stabilizes. A dark room. Heavy breathing. A figure walks into frame. Back turned to the camera. He places a photograph onto a desk. Zoom in. It's Riley. Then another photo. Ellie. Then dozens more. Names written in marker on the backs. The figure finally turns to the camera. Face obscured by shadows. He speaks. "She thought she was chasing monsters. But monsters don't run. We wait." Video cuts to black. Final frame. A date. 1 month in the future. No explanation. Now, analysts believe Riley may have uncovered not just a serial predator, but a coordinated network. Individuals targeting truth-seekers, reformers, and activists, operating silently, without trace, collecting fear, preserving it, feeding off it. They call it the gallery. Each victim a portrait, each death a message. Riley tried to expose it. She failed. Ellie may be alive, or she may already be part of the collection. No ransom, no demand, just the same message, repeated across channels. You saw her scream. Now listen to the silence. No arrests have been made. No suspects identified. One agent reported seeing a hooded figure watching from across the street 2 nights after the Nevada grave was found. He approached. The man was gone. Only a Polaroid remained. Of the agent, taken from behind. No prints. No witnesses. No explanation. Now a 3rd woman is missing. She was last seen attending a symposium on digital surveillance. Her final Instagram story. A blurry image of a man in the audience. Sitting alone. No face visible. Caption: "He's not blinking." 3 hours later, her account deleted. Her phone offline. Her apartment empty. In her mailbox, a photo of her front door, taken from inside. The woman's name was Andrea Kessler, 34 years old, freelance data privacy researcher, known in small tech circles for exposing vulnerabilities in popular surveillance apps. The day before she vanished, Andrea posted a lengthy blog article titled, "Your data is not yours." Within 24 hours, the post was scrubbed. Server logs erased. DNS records wiped. Archived copies corrupted. Her last known appearance was at the West Coast Digital Freedom Summit in Sacramento. Witnesses say she seemed tense, paranoid. She claimed someone had followed her into the hotel lobby. Tall man, gray hoodie, No badge. No luggage. Security cameras caught her rushing out of the lobby at 10:43 p.m. After that, nothing. The only thing left in her apartment? A folder on her desk labeled RT. Inside were handwritten notes, newspaper clippings, and a printed version of Riley Thorne's last known article draft. One sentence was underlined repeatedly in red ink. There's a system, a network, not a killer, a collector. FBI analysts re-examined the USB sent to Riley's brother. Inside the code of the video player, a steganographic signature. Hidden coordinates embedded in the video metadata. They led to a locked storage unit in Bakersfield, California, registered to an alias, C. Maddox. Inside, dozens of sealed boxes, each labeled by city, year, and initials. Inside each box, items meticulously preserved. Purse, a phone, a scarf, a lipstick tube, all tagged, all clean, no prints, and a Polaroid, always on top, always the same expression. One of the boxes, initials EC date, the week Ellie vanished. Another, A.K. Andrea Kessler. But one box stood out. No label, no initials. Inside only one object, a mirror. On the back, scratched into the glass. Before she saw him, she saw herself. That same day, an anonymous drop reached a local news station in Portland. A flash drive. One audio file. Titled, Listen. The voice, female. Breathing heavily. Panicked. I thought it was just paranoia. I thought he was only watching. But he doesn't just watch. He waits until you break. Until you doubt what's real. And when you do, he's already inside. Analysts identified the voice. Ellie Carson. A background hum in the recording revealed a rare mechanical tone used only in European freight elevators. Cross-referenced with known serial models, the search narrowed to just 4 buildings in the U.S. One of them, a condemned textile mill outside Reno, Nevada. A SWAT team was deployed. Inside the mill, the scent of rust and rot. Long corridors. Broken windows. No power. But the freight elevator fully functional. Operated on a generator. Recently refueled. On the 3rd sublevel, the team found it, the gallery. A room filled with photographs. Hung wall to wall. Hundreds. Maybe more. Each image, a different woman. Each one staring directly into the camera. Their faces suspended in time. In terror. Captured. Preserved. In the center of the room, an old projector. Running. On loop. The same video from the USB. Except this version was longer. It showed Riley Thorne. Sitting in the same wooden chair. Whispering to someone off camera. Her words barely audible. I know who you are. I know what you want. You'll never stop unless they see you. The camera zoomed in slowly. Riley's face goes pale. Her breathing stops. She looks past the camera. Then screams. The screen cuts to black. A final message appears. Witnessed. Collected. Archived. Agents moved to secure the gallery. But within 48 hours, the entire site was gutted by fire. No known ignition source. No survivors. All evidence ashes. One of the responding agents went missing that night. His name, Eric Malloy, 41 years old. No history of misconduct. No personal issues. The last thing found on his body cam. A still frame. A shadow. Standing in the corner of the gallery. Not moving. Watching. A new name appeared on the gallery ledger. Initials, EM checkmarked in red. 2 weeks later, a tech startup executive in Seattle received a hand-delivered envelope. No return address. Inside, one photo of her. On her balcony. Drinking coffee. But she lives in a penthouse. 38 floors up. That same night, she checked her security footage. One frame showed a figure standing outside the balcony railing. No ropes. No drone. Just standing. The timestamp? 4:03 a.m. No alarms triggered. The original 911 call, the one that started it all, was reanalyzed. The breath pattern. The cadence. The background noise. It wasn't Riley Thorne's voice. It wasn't any known victim. It was the same voice heard on dozens of 911 calls across multiple states. Different names, different numbers, always the same panic, the same silence at the end. Experts now believe the 911 call was bait, a lure, a voice used to activate the hunt. Which means he was never chasing them. They were being summoned. The gallery isn't just a collection. It's a system, a circuit, a ritual, a way of feeding something larger, older, not supernatural, not spiritual, but systemic, designed, engineered. And now it's expanding. Because last week, a retired detective who worked Riley Thorne's case was found dead in his home. No forced entry, no struggle. One thing left on his desk, a photo of his daughter. She's smiling, but her eyes are looking past the lens, at something no one else can see. The gallery is not done. The ledger is still growing. The next name could be anyone, because the camera is still rolling, and he's still watching. He always watches, but he doesn't just choose. He listens. He waits, until you ask a question that shouldn't be asked, until you notice something you shouldn't see. That's when your name enters the ledger. No warning, no turning back. The retired detective's daughter, Olivia Grant, was a 26-year-old schoolteacher in Eugene, Oregon. No criminal record, no suspicious activity, no public connections to the case. But 3 days before her father's death, she posted on a private forum, asking about a pattern in missing women's cases. Her post: all these women were asking too many questions. I think someone's collecting them. Not killing, documenting. Is that even possible? 3 hours later, her post was deleted. Her account disabled. The moderator claimed no knowledge of the removal. Olivia's laptop was later recovered. The hard drive had been wiped. Professionally. The last browser tab recovered from memory? A link to an archived podcast, one hosted by Riley Thorne in 2021. Episode title: Photographs No One Should Own. The episode had been pulled weeks after airing. No surviving copies. Until now. The FBI recovered fragments of the audio. Riley's voice, calm but strained. There are people who believe in preserving a moment of fear. Like a signature. A message. Not to the victim but to the world. I found one of them. He doesn't speak. He documents. He says it's not about death. It's about stillness. Capturing the exact second someone loses hope. And then, keeping it. Investigators tracked the IP used to download the podcast to a remote research facility in Montana. Privately owned. Off-grid. No official documentation. On satellite it looked abandoned. But infrared scans told another story: movement inside. A special unit approached under cover of night. They found steel gates, biometric locks, and motion sensors active. Whoever was here was protecting something. Inside the facility it looked like a lab. But not medical. Not scientific. Walls were lined with filing cabinets, projectors, and soundproof rooms. Every room had a single chair facing a one-way mirror. On the far end, a chamber. Inside, thousands of Polaroids, carefully archived in drawers labeled with dates and coordinates. Each drawer aligned to a year. The earliest, 1991. The most recent, 4 days ago. The last drawer pulled open contained only one photo. A woman, blonde, mid-20s, wearing a university hoodie, white eyes, lips parted, captured in a scream. Her name, handwritten on the back, Olivia Grant. But Olivia was still alive. Or at least she was that morning. Her apartment was empty. Car in the driveway. TV on. Dinner half-eaten. No sign of forced entry. Her bedroom window cracked open just 2 inches. No fingerprints. No sign of exit. Just one thing. A camera lens. Broken. Left in her sink. And on her mirror the words, "She looked too long." An emergency meeting was called between federal agencies, because what was initially believed to be a sadistic predator now appeared to be an operation. Structured, organized, intentional. Someone was building a database of fear. For what purpose, no one could say, until one agent made a disturbing connection. Of the 46 women documented so far, 11 had family members working in national cybersecurity, intelligence, or classified research. Every one of them had, at some point, accessed restricted government systems. Every one of them had been marked, not for exposure, but for proximity. The gallery was not just watching those who asked questions. It was watching the ones connected to the people with answers. Then another envelope arrived. This time, addressed directly to the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit in Quantico. Inside one Polaroid, a man, mid-40s, face bloody, eyes open, terror frozen in his expression. Identified as former Agent Kyle Rosen, retired after suffering a mental breakdown while investigating the original Riley Thorne case. The note taped to the back of the photo. He broke protocol. He remembered. The FBI reviewed Rosen's psych evaluations. One section redacted until now. A scribbled note by the psychiatrist. Claims he's seen the photographer. Claims the man doesn't age. Says the camera doesn't just record, it takes something. He wouldn't stop shaking. Kept saying, "He framed me. He framed me." That phrase appeared again. Spray painted outside a courthouse in Reno the next morning. He framed me. CCTV footage showed a man in a gray hoodie, moving deliberately, placing the can down, looking directly into the camera. But when agents enhanced the image, the face was blank, as if erased. Forensic software flagged the same anomaly in 7 other incidents. Always the same hoodie, always the same body type, always a missing face, now being referred to internally as the negative man, a figure with no digital footprint. Untraceable, undefinable, present in over 30 unsolved disappearances, but never seen twice in the same place. Analysts believe the gallery may be more than a collection. It may be a conduit, a system of psychological control. And the negative man? The harvester, the archivist, the one who decides when someone is ready to be preserved. 2 days ago, a high-level cryptologist disappeared from DC. Her final text: "He's outside. He has no face. He took my reflection." The gallery's ledger updated again. Initials, MH, checkmarked in red. 3 hours after her disappearance, her husband received a voicemail. 10 seconds long. Breathing. A camera shutter. Then the words, "Thank you for your contribution." Another FBI agent was found unconscious in his car. He survived. Barely. He claims he was taking photos of the gallery's recovered evidence when a shadow appeared behind him. No sound. Just a sense of collapse. As if the air around him had been taken. When he woke up, the photos on his camera were gone. But one remained. The last one. Not one he took. A selfie. Of him. Eyes wide. Terror in his face. He doesn't remember taking it. The camera has been sealed in evidence. But even powered off, it continues to emit a faint whirring noise. Almost like a winding shutter. Now another signal. A low-band transmission coming from beneath a communications tower in Wyoming. Repeating on a loop. Witness. Collect. Archive. Obey. Who is he? What is the gallery really for? Why the photographs? Why the fear? And most importantly, who's next? The transmission didn't stop. Low-band frequency. Repeating. Perfectly timed intervals. Like a beacon pulsing beneath the surface. The words were always the same. Witness. Collect. Archive. Obey. But then, on the 7th repetition, the signal changed. A new phrase. 42 of 50 complete. What did it mean? Was it a countdown? A collection quota? A list? FBI tech units triangulated the source to a relay tower decommissioned in 1999. They sent in a 2-man team with suppression gear. What they found underground was not a basement. It was a bunker. The floor was lined with analog radio equipment, rows of vintage transmitters, and cables leading to nowhere. Dust everywhere except for one chair. A single metal chair bolted to the center of the room, facing a wall. No restraints, but worn at the edges, like it had been sat in for a long, long time. Etched into the concrete above the chair 7 tally marks. Fresh, still white with chalk dust. And behind the chair, hidden inside a hollowed-out cavity in the wall, a case. Inside, a series of cassette tapes, numbered, handwritten labels. Subject 11, initial contact. Subject 29, reversal event. Subject 42, obedience test. They played the first tape, static, then breathing, then the faint hum of fluorescent light, and a voice, calm, male, unemotional. This is not for your understanding. This is for the ledger. You asked to see. You were told not to look. Now you will be remembered the way you feared the most. Then a scream, short, muffled, like it was pulled back into the speaker. When the text played tape 42, something happened. Every speaker in the room crackled. All radios, dead or powered down, turned on, playing the same audio. Simultaneously, the words repeated. Obedience is clarity. Framing is truth. And then the signal cut, permanently, but the number 42 of 50 remained etched in every recovered fragment, printed on a strip of paper inside the case, handwritten over and over again in the margins of a notebook left in the room. Investigators believe there are 50 targets, 50 subjects, 50 collections, and only 8 remain. The targets aren't random. Each name appears to serve a purpose, linked by patterns most can't see. But the gallery sees it, because the gallery doesn't choose based on guilt. It chooses based on observation. Anyone can become a subject, including Agent Lana Voss, lead investigator on the Riley Thorne file, profile architect, data systems analyst. She'd been spearheading the investigation since day one. She'd connected the coordinates, mapped the ledgers, tracked the negative man across state lines. But she made one mistake. She accessed a redacted file, buried in the archives of Project Intelos, a Cold War-era psychological ops initiative designed to test fear conditioning through sensory imagery. Inside the folder, she found it. The first recorded mention of the gallery, Belarus. A man described as wearing gray clothing, face obscured, carrying a folding camera, linked to 11 disappearances of university students and 1 photojournalist. All subjects vanished within 24 hours of speaking out about government suppression. The man was never identified, but one detail matched every modern case. Each victim's final image, always found after the disappearance, contained 3 elements: the subject looking directly into the lens, a shadow in the far right corner, a timestamp that didn't match any known camera settings. Agent Voss reported the discovery. Then she vanished. Her last transmission: he's here, not outside. He's behind the screen. If you're seeing this, you're already framed. Her office security camera showed no entry, no exit, but one frame, just one, captured a still image. Voss, sitting at her desk, eyes wide. Behind her, barely visible, was a figure, out of focus, no features, but holding something. Camera. And then static. Her initials were added to the ledger. LV. Red checkmark. That made 43 of 50. Only 7 remain. Then came the leak. A hard drive was anonymously mailed to a data forensics firm in Boston. Inside, a corrupted program folder named Collector version 0.9. The application contained a live map, pulsing red dots, locations, each dot aligned with a confirmed gallery collection. The map was updating in real time. 7 more dots remained dim, meaning uncollected. One was in Salt Lake City, another in Chicago. One pulsed in Washington, D.C., 3 blocks from the Capitol. One in Los Angeles, 2 international, and 1 unknown, marked only as Subject 0. Encrypted files inside the program were partially decrypted. They revealed a working hypothesis: that Subject 0 is not a victim, not an investigator, but the origin, the first person ever framed. The source image, the seed, a photo that contains something impossible, a signal, a visual virus, an embedded concept that replicates through exposure. The theory: once you've seen it, the camera finds you. And once it finds you, you're only a matter of time. Because framing isn't about photography. It's about memory. It's about altering how others see you, and eventually how you see yourself. Those who resist lose their identity. Those who comply disappear. That's what happened to Riley Thorne. Her last known photograph, released in a redacted surveillance file, shows her not screaming, not crying, but smiling. Eyes glassy, pupils dilated. Experts say the expression isn't joy, it's surrender, the final phase of collection. Now, whistleblowers from inside Homeland Security are raising alarms. They claim to have seen evidence the gallery is no longer analog. The process is becoming digital. Photos aren't just printed anymore, they're uploaded, shared, replicated. They say every repost of a certain image increases the signal's reach. They say the gallery has gone viral, which means it can be anywhere, any screen, any device, even this one. Because if you've seen even one image, just one from this story, if you've imagined it, if you've looked too closely, you might already be in the ledger, and the final 6 entries are filling fast. So if your phone buzzes at 3:03 a.m., if you hear the click of a shutter, if you look in the mirror and see something behind you, don't turn around, don't blink, don't even breathe, because he doesn't need permission. Just a moment, just one frame. Part 2 is coming soon. Subscribe to this channel.